The history of the nine-tailed beasts. The tailed beasts, which are considered to be monsters of chakra in the series, known to possess immeasurable chakra, are 9 titanic life forms, made of chakra, existing in the series. They are differentiated by the number of tails they have, ranging from 1 to 9. A long time ago, long before the creation of the shinobi world, the shinobi villages and nations, there was a devastating battle between gods. In this battle, the Byakugan princess Kaguya Osatsuki fought against his own children, Hagoromo Osatsuki and Hamura Osatsuki. So, it turns out that Kaguya was in possession of a super-tailed beast called the Ten Tails. Or we could say, she was the Ten Tails personified. It was this power of the Ten Tails that she used to battle her children. However, despite her immeasurable power, she was still defeated in the end, as her children weren't pushovers. They both possessed incredible abilities like 6 paths Senjutsu, Rinnegan, and Tensegan, which they used to suppress and seal her. Hagoromo Osatsuki, not wanting to let the Ten Tails roam about rampantly, sealed the Ten Tails into his body, becoming its first Jinchuriki. Many years later, seeing that he was approaching the end of his life, he thought it wise to split this powerful beast. Inspired by his son, Asura Osatsuki, he used his ability, creation of all things, to split the Ten Tails into 9 living entities. After doing this, he gave each of the 9 a name, and he told them that, despite their separation, a link exists between them. He named them Shukaku, Matatabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kokuo, Seiken, Chimei, Juki and Kirama. The first to the 9 tails respectively. Upon their separation, the tailed beasts would roam about aimlessly, and over the centuries, they were captured by humans, and because of their immense power, were used as weapons of war. Despite being sentient beings themselves, shinobi didn't think too much of this, and instead saw them as demons, malignant spirits, or mindless beasts, worthy of fear and disdain. The beasts resented this treatment and came to hate humans, at times willingly becoming the monsters they were viewed as. The first person to come close to the true usage of the tailed beasts was Hashirama Senju, who had captured several of them, using the suppressive nature of his wood release abilities. He would then distribute them amongst the different villages, so as to create a balance of power between them. However, his usage of the tailed beasts were forceful, and was still incapable of earning their cooperation. Seeing this, shinobi discovered that the best way to harness the power of a tailed beast, that is to bring out its true power, was by sealing them into humans. So, the villages began sealing them into humans, creating what we've come to know as Jinchuriki. However, although Jinchuriki has the potential of bringing out the true power of a tailed beasts, it doesn't mean that they would be able to do so in the end. Throughout history, numerous shinobi managed to become Jinchuriki, yet very few were able to truly bring out their true power. This was because, in order to make use of the full power of a tailed beast, their cooperation was needed, and only a few shinobi managed to strike a partnership with their tailed beasts like Naruto and Killer Bee. When a Jinchuriki gains cooperation with their tailed beast, they are able to call upon the power whenever they will, and they are so much more powerful compared to when it was out of their control. Let us take Naruto for example. Early on in the series, Naruto was only able to call upon the power of the Nine Tails when he had been pushed into a corner and managed to weaken the seal a little bit, causing some of the Nine Tails chakra to leak out. Later on, the seal will weaken further, enabling him to use even more power, and thus awaken new forms, 1 tail, 4 tails, 6 tails, and the more tails, the more power. Even after battling and defeating the 9 tails in his subconsciousness, and awakening a mode known as 9 tails chakra mode, which he could use at will, he still wasn't able to draw upon its full power. It was only after cooperating with the 9 tails, that Naruto managed to use its full power at will. Able to transform into a massive avatar of the 9 tails, resembling the original 9 tails, making him many times more powerful than before. When the Akatsuki organization emerged, their main mission was to capture all the tailed beasts, in order to revive the 10 tails. Considering that almost all the tailed beast had a Jinchuriki, their only choice was to capture the Jinchuriki, and extract the tailed beast from them. This will lead to the devastation of several shinobi villages and nations. Because they didn't manage to capture all the tailed beasts, only capturing 7, the Akatsuki, particularly Toby, who had disguised himself as Madara Uchiha, declared war upon the shinobi nations, thus leading to the Fourth Shinobi World War. Despite the war, however, Toby was still unable to get hold of the tailed beasts in Naruto and Killer Bee's possession. This was because they had full control over their tailed beasts, and were powerful enough to go against him. Thus the only choice he had was to get hold of pieces of chakra from these 2 tailed beasts existing in other shinobi. 7 complete tailed beasts, and fragments of chakra from the 8 and 9 tails, was enough for Toby to revive the 10 tails, and become its Jinchuriki. However, he was still defeated by the combined effort of Naruto, the revived Hokage, and the Shinobi Alliance. Upon seeing this, Madara Uchiha, who had been reanimated, used his amazing power as well as some tricks to defeat the tailed beasts, including the 8 and 9 tails which he managed to extract from Naruto and Killer Bee using the demonic statue chains. He would then revive the 10 tails and become its Jinchuriki, becoming much more powerful than Obito. Naruto, after having the 9 tails extracted from him, was on the verge of death at this point, and the only thing keeping him alive was the other half of the 9 tails which Minato had given him. With this, Naruto managed to awaken the consciousness of Hagoromo Osatsuki, who will grant both him and Sasuke his powers. This will enable them to battle against Madara, and later Kaguya, and succeed in freeing the tailed beasts. In the end, Naruto got the other half of the 9 tails, and the other tailed beasts were free to roam about. Today, unlike the past, the tailed beasts are now seen as true sentient beings with emotions, as opposed to just being weapons of war. The resentment that existed between them and the shinobi world was brought to an end after the Fourth Shinobi World War. And this is the story of the tailed beasts. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more awesome content. Thanks for watching, and until next time.